What's going to happen here is that when you get here for the first time in the game, you're going to start meeting other players. Up to this point, you're completely alone in your own little universe, but once you get to Tromsø, you're going to see other players running around. And these can be people from all over the world, Australia, China, Canada, anywhere. So that's when you can start socializing, talking to the players. You can do, for instance, this. Hello. And a speech bubble, as you see here, will appear over your head so you can communicate with other players. So I'm just going to run around a little bit. So this is the pirate town of Tromsø. You're going to spend your first 20 levels of your character's life here. When you gain level 20, which is like an experience level, you're going to be able to leave the island on a ship here and sail to the mainland of the game world, which is a huge expanse of land. Literally hundreds of square kilometers of land that you can explore. Everything from the mountains, snow-covered mountains in the north, to the burning deserts of Stygia, and everything in between, the rolling plains of Aqualonia and so on. What you see here is one of the taverns in the game, the Rum and Rumble. And as you can see here, there is this guy who's obviously a little bit drunk. And that's another cool thing about the world of Conan, is that everything is sort of alive in this game. You can, as a player, you can go into this bar and you can get drunk. You can fight other players who are also drunk. And we have this artificial intelligence in the game, which basically tells NPCs, or these characters, these are computer-controlled characters, these aren't players. They will go around and do their own things. For instance, this guy, he drank too much. So what do you do when you drink too much? If you're a guy, at least. You find the nearest harbor, and you pass out, exactly. Or you do this. It might sound like it might look a bit childish, but it's actually very important because we're trying to create that feeling that you get when you're reading the Conan novels. Everything is dirty, everything is real and human. And he will go back and get drunk again, of course. So you have all these NPCs running around in the game world doing things. If they get tired, they're going to lay down and sleep. If they get thirsty, they will drink. Probably booze, because it's the world of Conan. So he will run in there. And as a player, I can also go in and I can get drunk and I can fight other players. That's what we call drunken brawling, which is basically like a rock, paper, scissors game, where if you drink 2 beer and 1 wine, how will you fare against someone who drank 2 wine and 1 beer, for instance? So it's all in good fun. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to turn myself into another character. I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to turn myself into a level 40 barbarian, which is one of the 14 classes in the game. Yep, this is cheating. You don't need to write down the codes or anything, because it's going to be removed from the game. No. Oh, trust me, I'm going to eBay all my characters. Okay, so I'm turning myself into a level 40 barbarian, which is a melee character. It's a guy who fights usually with a big sword or a big axe. So what I just did now is that I did like 40 hours of gameplay into 40 seconds. So this is my level 40 barbarian. So as you can see now, I have much cooler equipment. You can just see the details in the equipment in this game. You can actually see like scars in not only in your own skin, but also like imperfections in armor and so on. So it's really, really detailed. I can go into my inventory like this. It's very much like any other role-playing game. I can start taking things off, if that's what you're into. Like this, for instance. Now I can, for instance, it reveals the necklace that I also have under here. So I can take off the necklace too. I can take the necklace on again, and so on. So you can tweak and customize your character. And there's literally thousands of different items in the game that you can wear, that you can use. And it usually involves going into a dark, dark dungeon, fighting creatures from hell, and finding that, that sword of eternal power or something like that. Okay, so to talk more about the combat system, now we have something called combos, which basically I go into my combo list, and combos is like almost like if you play Tekken or Street Fighter. You can do these certain combinations with your controller, and you basically perform a really powerful attack, and it plays off a really cool animation and so on. And we also have that in Age of Conan. So this is my list of combos. I gain combos as I progress in levels. As I go up each level, I can use training points to train in feats. which opens up more combos, the ability to use more advanced weapons. So it's very much a role-playing experience like that. I'm going to equip a few different combos here, so I can show you how they look in action. Like this. So if I go into combat now, I can hit in different directions using my keyboard, like this. Or if I want to perform a combo, I can just click on the combo like this, and then it tells me which direction I have to hit in order to complete the combo. So if I click on one now, I do that combo. So it's a really cool move, and it does extra damage and so on. These are very basic combos right here, but they do massive damage and they're cool to look at, which is very important. And also we have something called fatality moves, and if you perform a killing blow with a combo, you're going to see some really awful, gory violence, like cutting off someone's head or cutting off their arm. So you can sort of like reenact the scene from Monty Python's Holy Grail if you want. Okay, so I'm going to kill some pigs. These are pigs, like these are the native inhabitants of this island. And you have probably heard about pigs from a real history. And I really screwed up once because I presented the game to a Scotsman, a Scottish guy. And I said that these are pigs, it's like they're like Neanderthals and really stupid. And he said like, don't insult my ancestors. Again, you know, we use all these different elements from our real world. Okay, so I can hit these guys. These are level 10 and these are level 9 creatures, so I'm killing them in just a few blows. Yeah, they're dying too soon actually. Okay, so I'm going to run up. I'm going to run up to another area of the game world. We're still on this island called Tromsø, this tropical island. It's a very small portion of the game universe. Just need to kill this guy first. On my burger. There you go. And of course, as you can see here, we drop loot. So I can pick up this piece of loot. Like this. Like this, and that's a leather strap, so I'm going to take that. You can collect all these different cool things like bottles and flowers and so on. Okay, so I'm going to step into the Asheronian ruins, which is on another part of this island called Tromsø. And this is the first area of the game where you're going to start doing some real adventuring. Asheronian ruins is a playfield, as we call it, a portion of the game world, with this huge temple or ruined temple in the distance. And as a player, I can walk over to that. I can climb it. I can go into every little part of it and basically explore everything. Okay, so I'm going to first change my class so I can show you something else than just the barbarian. I'm going to turn myself into I'm going to turn myself into a demonologist, which is a caster class, which is a spellcaster basically. The demonologist is more or less an expert on everything about demons. They can summon demons, they can use the power of demons to their advantage. And as you may start to see now, is that we have all these very, very interesting, exotic new classes in Age of Conan. We didn't want to put in things like for instance, the paladin or the cleric and all this standard fantasy stuff. We wanted to create new classes, so you have things like the Herald of Sotley, the Demonologist, the Priest of Mitra, the Scion of Set, all these different things that you've never really heard about. So when you first start playing Age of Conan, everything is going to feel new and fresh. And just listen to the great music. Okay, so now I'm in my spell book. The spell book basically is a list of all the spells I have. So I can drag them down to my quick bar, so I can quickly perform them. So I'm going to just choose a few spells. I have, for instance, the Firestorm, which is my personal favorite. I just click on it, and I click on a place in the game world, and it rains down like a rain of fire that kills enemies and so on. I have my Storm Chains, which can root people to the ground, which is very helpful because I can cast it on them and they suddenly get chained to the ground and they start to pull their legs off, up, but they can't move, so I can keep them at a distance.